This is video 2 for kinesiology. We'll start with shoulder girdle of the bony landmarks. We'll start with the inferior angle. Starts here on the bottom. We move upward. Sorry. You can feel the superior angle. In between those two angles, you have your vertebral border, and on the outer side you have your auxiliary border. Here at the top, you can feel it flow laterally this way. You have your scapula spine. At the end, kind of this little bony process. It's called your acromion process. Acromion process right here. Then it attaches to your clavicle. Moving down to shoulder into the humerus itself. On an external rotation, you can reach in and feel the lesser tubercle. On an internal rotation, you can feel the greater tubercle knob there on the humerus. Relax for me. Here, you can kind of see pretty good definition right there. Be your deltoid tuberosity. This is where all your deltoid muscles would insert as well. Turn back around for me. So we'll start on muscle groups, and we'll go into the upper traps, which starts here at your occipital bone and flows down this way to your acromion process. Then you have your lower traps, which start in about C7 to I think it's T3, so about right through here. You would have where the lower traps begin, and they pull over and attach to your scapula spine this way. Moving on to the rhomboids, you would have, it would originate right about C7 to T5 as well. It would pull over to the vertebral border of your scapula. Oh, also movements of the upper traps. It helps with shoulder elevation. The lower traps would help with depression, and your rhomboids would help with retracting your shoulders backwards this way. Relax for me. So then we can move on to the serratus anterior, which would lift your arm up. Sorry, pull over. They begin on your upper 8 ribs this way and pull back this way to the anterior surface of the vertebral border, and it helps in protraction, pulling your shoulders in that way. Relax for me. Moving on to the shoulder joint, you have the anterior deltoid. I could probably have you turn this way. The anterior deltoid, which would begin at the lateral third of your clavicle, about here, and insert on the interior surface of your vertebral border here. Then you have your middle deltoid, which originates in your acromion process and would insert into your deltoid tuberosity here. And it helps in shoulder abduction, so away from the body. The anterior deltoid helps with shoulder flexion, pulling your arm upwards, back down. You have your posterior deltoid, which begins at the spine of the scapula here and inserts onto your deltoid tuberosity here, and it helps in horizontal abduction, so this way. Back down for me. Then we'll do the rotator cuff. Start with the supraspinatus. It originates in this little upper dip in the supraspinous fossa here, and inserts onto the greater tubercle here. It helps in shoulder abduction, so away from the body. Then you have your infraspinatus, which begins in your lower and helps, it's inferior, it's kind of way deep down in the infranatus fossa, and it pulls over and connects to your greater tubercle here. It helps with your external rotation this way. Then you have your teres minor. Let's see, it's also really deep and connects in that same, at the subscapular fossa, and inserts onto the greater tubercle here. It helps also with your horizontal abduction this way. Back down. Then you would move down to your subscapularis, which originates in your subscapular fossa. And it's like way down this way, and inserts onto your lesser tubercle. Kind of goes in the middle here and inserts this way. It helps with your just medial rotation this way. And lastly, we would have the latimus dorsa, or wings, as we call them. It originates on your T7 to about L5, and inserts up this way onto your lesser tubercle, and it helps also in your medial rotation or your shoulder abduction, taking it away from the body. Alrighty, I think that covers it. Thank you so much.